and production collaboration work? What were your relative roles? Because there were what, like 4 or 5 producers on film?
Yeah.
Some we haven't met, to be honest, still. But Happy and Flower are really good together.
Happy
Madison and Flower Films. And so we would sit in rooms for hours, and we were typed up, and note number 1, and blah, 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 blah. Let's discuss. Note number 2, or should we go that broad with, you know, the assistant or whatever? Let's discuss. And they would sit in there, like, so cool with their, like, bouncing balls on the wall, like, all right, girls, go ahead and discuss it.
And the good thing is that, as Nan said, they were the fraternity and we were the sorority.
Yeah.
I mean, we really were the girls and the boys, and we were girls fighting for the heart and the rationality and the logic and the through line.
And they'd be like, but you guys, it's funny. And we're like, okay, it was really funny, let's just keep it in.
And yet we love the funny and we love boys. And even though we're inherently feminine, it's like, what do boys find funny? Because again, that's what I want to go to, is a film that's for both of us. So it was this great team of boys and girls trying to figure out how to make this film.
They're so fun too. They're really like brothers. They're the best.
They're amazing. And the one thing that Nan and I felt adamant about, as they did.
Should we say them? Because some people haven't seen them.
What? Is the ending, which you will see now.
The ending.
9 minutes. But the ending that is in there was vital to us for something. How do I word this if you haven't seen it? We really felt strongly about the ending being what it is, what you will see, and not what it could have been, which is what you won't see.
In other words, it's a satisfying ending, but it's not a cliche Hollywood.
We just didn't want to sell out on the ending. That was, we just didn't want to do it.
Nan and I love light and love and laughter, and that is all that we strive for in this world amongst all the drama and the depth and the soul, because both need each other. But if you can somehow keep out the Hollywood bow that's wrapped on the package at the end, it would be excellent.
We couldn't do it for Duplex. We couldn't do it.
No, I mean, we tried to make
we
jokes,
wanted
and
to
they were
do
like,
it.
you gotta have the bow. We were like,
they should be in jail.
you should pay for what they did.
Where's April Wright?
Come on, April.
Yay, April. April gets our next DVD. Which do you like better, acting or producing?
I wouldn't produce without Nan.
Oh,
It's true.
I'm definitely acting.
Hate it. She doesn't want to be in front of a camera. She hates it so much.
4 people, and so that's plenty in a room for me. But you, I would say I could answer this for her. She needs to act, and she's a really good producer. So I think that it's two different hats, and she has to wear them a lot. I mean, on the set, it's sort of, now do this, and you're this person, you're in front of over here, and then come back behind the monitor. Let's look at the scene. How is it laid out? Is it working? It's a lot. I don't know how you do it.
Now, earlier this evening, you had mentioned an interest. You were actually considering directing, I think, Wedding Singer, which.
No, I was saying I love the script 51st Dates. I mentioned at one point when we were trying to produce it.
And again, it was odd and little.
Yeah, it was a small little movie. I mean, it was just
set in Seattle, Washington, and rainy and dark and yummy.
Henry Roth, Adam's character, went off with another woman at one point.
She set him up?
Because I didn't want him to deal with what I had to deal with. I mean, it was just a different movie. And, you know, we talked about casting, at that point, another woman who is incredibly successful today. I mean, we again talk about casting. I won't mention who it was, but we were like, this woman should do it. Now she's super famous and amazing, and that's the thing about casting. Why?
I don't know whether they can remember.
Oh, I'll tell you later. It was your idea too. We just sort of, the way that I felt about it was how, in some way, can we be a part of this film? Is it producerially? How do you say it?
As producers.
Thank you. Producerially. Do we act in it? Do we make it with our company and have another actress in it? At the time, I was making a film called Writing Cards with Boys, and way ensconced with that. And if we were to go up and running right away, I couldn't have done it. I mean, we just felt adamant about putting this film out into the world and what was the right way to make it. And then, you know, a lot of films take many years to make, as this one did, and I think it eventually came out in the right incarnation, hopefully. And sometimes it's just, how do the pieces of the puzzles all work and when do they work?
So as far as you as a director now,
I want to someday. I haven't done it, so I can't talk about it because I haven't done it yet.
do you have an idea of what kind of material you're most likely to direct for your first film?
Well, I know the films that I like as an audience member, so I'd give anything to direct a film like that. I just don't know if I have what it takes, and it's gonna be a minute till I figure it out, you know. But I have my aspirations. I love filmmaking. I love watching movies. I love the movies that touch my soul and change my day.
I think she'll direct before she's on Broadway.
Fair enough.
That'll be a while.
Where's Natalie forward?
Natalie.
Yay, Natalie. Are there any scenes or sequences that were deleted from 50 First Dates that you wish had stayed in the film? And which ones?
Did we fight? It's so funny because when you're in the editing room, you fight so hard for the things that you believe in, and then you have to let it go. It's almost like you have to, the things you don't win, you have to see the other person's side, or they don't ever go away. I mean, we have one movie where we still wish we had won them.
Yes.
In the editing room. In 50 First Dates, it's like Pete Siegel was so good at taking both teams, because if you really look at it as a director, having two powerful stars and then their people, you know, which it easily could be. I'm fighting for Drew, and our team's fighting for Drew, and his team's fighting for Adam. Luckily it wasn't, but it can be that kind of situation. So Peter was really good at sort of listening to everybody and giving everybody what they wanted. So editing on this film was sitting in there with coffees, you know, all on the floor and just watching, you know, reel after reel, scene after scene, and just really saying, that works, that's funny, that doesn't work. We went to all the screenings, listened for the laugh with the comedy. It's
yeah.
really
I would be
important
like,
to have
does she really
screenings.
need to talk about her taco? Like,
Right.
you know, does she need to make that joke about her punani? I'm not sure, you
Yeah.
guys. Is it funny? Like, I went there. I had to ask because they put it in the movie. I gotta ask, you know. I mean, we got that. You get that into it, and you get like it. Did I just gross everybody out? It's in the movie. So
Is it? I'm like, wait, is
it is. We didn't win that battle. Yes. That's in there. That was taken out. But you go through every shot and every reaction, and you go, let's look at all the different takes. And is this reaction strong? Is that reaction too strong? You know, there were things that we were not sure about. There were things that, there's a scene in the film where Adam and I are in the yellow golden light of this tree, and I'm saying, the bark is healing, and we have this great little moment with each other, and that was cut out of the film for a while. And Nan and I went, no, you have to put that scene back. Yeah. It is glorious to look at. It's just a beautiful moment, and it transitions into their montage of actually this thing functioning, and it's the way to transition it. So, you know, there were things like that. Then there were things that we didn't think were necessarily funny, and then we'd see it in front of an audience, and they would laugh, and we'd be like,
you just forget.
Thank God you didn't cut that out, because we were wrong. We're so sorry. And it's really, it is a collaboration. It is filmmaking by committee sometimes. Yeah. And as Nan always says, it's opinion.
And you have to pick your battles.
Yeah.
You really, really can. I remember in the original draft, do you remember the pumpkin? It was a pumpkin at the time.
Yeah.
It was Halloween in the original one. And the way they described the pumpkin hitting that tree and the brain and all of the contents of the pumpkin spilling out all over the ground, I always loved that. And we did it so many takes with that pineapple, trying to get something out of it to smush like her, and it didn't work. So I wish that was in there something.
Yeah.
It never worked. It just didn't work.
It's
so
funny to think
it's cool the way it looks
too.
now, but it's like, I just saw the brain mass all over, and we could not get that out of the pumpkin. Out of the pineapple, no matter how hard we tried.
Tell me about working with a former Hobbit as your co-star, Sean Astin.
Okay, tell him about his audition tape.
All that in you, Del.
Well, it wasn't an audition as far as we really wanted him to do it.
Right.
He was one of our considerations for the part. In fact, I think he was our favorite choice for the part.
And he really wanted it.
He was out of town at the time, yes. And so he had to send in a tape of himself doing it. And instead of reading with someone, he decided to direct the little segment that he did himself. He acted out the scenes while managing the camera and putting it on a tripod and starting it and stopping it and like running all around, and he decided to give it this lisp.
The best.
Like, hey,
totally Sean.
hey Stacey, it's been a long time since high school. Let's change. Like literally, you're like.
And he was round in the Lord of the Rings.
So also, this guy was written as a beefcakey, steroid-using, bodybuilding like flop out from the challenges.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they're called.
But he gave us the list that was fantastic, and then he worked out every single day in a truck. We had like a workout truck, and he did. He lost all the weight. He got super tan, and he lisped the entire movie.
And he wore the net shirts, flexing his
So
little
great.
boobs. I mean,
awful shit. I mean, like tight shorts.
into it with your freaking, excuse me, with the bicycle shorts and the net shirts. I mean, you couldn't pay me.
No.
Well, I know if it was right for the character, I would do it. But the net shirts, like, who wants to wear a net tank top? It's like, either they're the people who do, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. I would not feel comfortable in a net tank top. It's like in the 80s they scooped them out. Not for me. I don't make it look good. He made the net and the bicycle short and the spandex and the mesh work for him.
Yeah, he was a hoot.
So he was
Dan Aykroyd.
Yes.
That's such a dream.
There was actually a little bit of CGI enhancement in a couple of his booby flex scenes.
Don't tell him.
Secret.
Yes.
All right, Rob Schneider.
Oh my God.
Ooh-la.
Well, let's be honest, because the thing is that we weren't sure when it was Rob Schneider. When Adam was like, it's Rob Schneider, we're like, okay, he's great, but is that too SNL? Is it going to be too broad? And I have to tell you, not only is he a dear friend of ours now, but he brought so much to this movie. He really took this character that was a little new, obviously, we didn't have a Ula in Seattle, and really brought it to life. He was so funny. He had a blast. Complete treat to work with. Total professional.
I think that when we first started and he was talking about, the wig and the wonky eye and being dressed up in a body of leaves, we were like,
this has really gotten
okay, wow, okay, interesting. And as we watched his character unfold before our very eyes shooting, I just really think he elevated the movie, and I think he developed an endearing and wonderful character, and he is wonderful in the film. And there's a scene where I get to beat the ever-loving crap out of him. And when we were filming it, we had so much fun making it that I don't know if we had any idea if it would translate, but the joy that we felt making that scene, it's a miracle that it came across, and wonderful that it does, because he really is a great actor in this film. He's just lovely and delightful and came out with a cute
And having
character.
someone like Rob, then with like Blake Clark, who I just loved, who plays Drew's dad in the film, Mr. Whitmore. He's actually a stand-up comedian, but he was so, I really burst into tears every time I saw him. He was so heartfelt and real, and he just brought so much to the character. So it was fun to have heavy and light and silly and goofy and still have the love muscle going,
And that's as good a note as any to end on.
On the love muscle?
On the love muscle.
No!
Yes. Actually, I'm going to ask you one last question, which is what's coming up next for you guys?
Here's the thing, we just don't talk about it unless we're sort of in a process, but
Not because we think we're like cool
we
or
just don't want to
anything.
jinx it, and then
Exactly.
everyone's like, you guys said that one thing, and we're like, I know that fell apart, sorry.
We're losers. We can make it happen.
But here's the good news, we're working around the clock, and we've got a bunch of things that are all going to probably percolate at the same time, which is sort of happening this week, in fact. So we'll know soon what our next thing is.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's bring the bowl out here. We're going to do a final drawing for another
this
DVD.
time.
Oh, no, they need you to pick.
No.
No, actually,
Okay.
this time it's your turn.
Just so you know, I'm not cheating. Oh no, now, oh my god.
Bring up your glasses.
The Jones, Aaliyah, Ella. Hello!
Yay!
The Joneses.
Fabulous. All right, with that, let's thank our guests, Drew Barrymore and Nancy Juvonen.
I just want to say a special thank you to these ladies too in the front row. They are the coolest women in the world. Just so you know that.
Yay! Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you guys for coming, by the way. Thank you. It's a Tuesday night. I hope you have a great time watching this movie, and thank you for letting us have the chance to come here and talk about this, because I don't know if you guys are even enjoying it, but I can't tell you I could hump the microphone right now. I'm so happy.